Hey guys, welcome to session 6 of our Bible study series. I hope you were blessed by last week's message. In today's session, we'll be looking at the fourth piece of the armor of God, which is the shield of faith. Let's read from Ephesians 6:16, which says, "In all circumstances, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming darts of the evil one." Up until now, Paul's description of the armor of God has been limited to the items we wear. We put on the belt, the breastplate, and the shoes, and they essentially hold themselves up. The shield, however, is different. Paul tells us that the shield is something we must take up, something we are required to raise. Just strapping it on our arm won't do any good at all if we don't make the effort to hold it aloft and use it. So, how did the shield work in the Roman army? The Roman shield was a very large, slightly curved, rectangular shield, almost the size of a large door, and would cover the warrior entirely. It featured at its center a large metal knob called the boss. Because of its sheer size, soldiers were afforded a great deal of protection from their enemies. Because of its slight curve, it was able to deflect attacks without transferring the full force of the assault to the man holding the shield. Because of its boss, it was able to deflect even the more vicious blows and function in a limited offensive capacity as a means of knocking an opponent backwards. Now, the next question I want to ask is, what is faith? Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is a substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Verse 6 stresses the importance of faith. It says, "Without faith, it is impossible to please God." Satan's attacks can sometimes cause us to doubt God, but faith prompts us to believe God. We give in to temptation when we believe what it has to offer is better than what God has promised. Faith reminds us that though the fulfillment of God's promises may not be readily visible to us, God is true to His word. Satan's attacks can sometimes cause us to doubt God, but faith prompts us to believe God. We give in to temptation when we believe what it has to offer is better than what God has promised. Faith reminds us that though fulfillment of God's promises may not be readily visible to us, God is true to His word. When Satan attempts to plague us with doubt or entice us with instant gratification, faith recognizes the deceptiveness of his tactics and quickly extinguishes the arrows. When Satan accuses us, faith chooses to believe that Jesus has redeemed us and that there is no more condemnation, as Romans 8:1 says. All believers have this promise. Everyone born of God overcomes the world. This is a victory that has overcome the world, even our faith. Faith is a protective barrier between us and the schemes of Satan. When we believe God and take Him at His word, we remain grounded in truth, the lies of the enemy lose their power, and we become overcomers. In that way, faith is our shield. Now, we have slightly looked at the answer to this question, but why is a shield associated with faith? I want to take you to Daniel chapter 3. This is a story of 3 Jewish men who were taken to Babylon to serve King Nebuchadnezzar. The king had made an image of gold and had placed it up in plain sight in the province of Babylon. King Nebuchadnezzar had commanded his servants to announce to all the people of Babylon that when they heard the sound of every kind of music, every person was to fall down and worship the golden image that the king had set up. Whoever did not fall down and worship the golden image would immediately be cast into the fiery furnace. Now it is important to understand that these 3 young Jewish men, although living in Babylon and under the Babylonian laws, believed in the God of Israel and followed His commandments. The first of which was, "You shall have no other gods before me." And secondly, "You shall not make for yourself a carved image of any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them." When Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego heard the sound of the music playing, They chose not to bow down to the golden image, but rather worship the living God, whom they had served from a very young age. King Nebuchadnezzar, hearing the news, immediately entered into a furious rage and commanded that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be brought before him. So they were brought before the king, and King Nebuchadnezzar answered them, saying, "Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the golden image that I have set up?" King Nebuchadnezzar put their faith in God to the test and commanded that they bow down to the golden image. If they disobeyed, they would be thrown into the fiery furnace. Daniel 3:16 says, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If this be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up." As we have mentioned, the purpose of the shield is to guard. While a physical shield protects us physically, faith can protect our spiritual lives even in the middle of physical trials. When Satan, through Nebuchadnezzar, attacked the values and beliefs of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were able to stand resolute and unwavering because of their faith. In their response, they essentially said, God is capable of delivering us from this fate. We don't know if he will or will not, but that doesn't matter. He gave us his commandments and we are going to keep them regardless of the physical outcome. We know he can just as easily raise us from the dead. A shield also deflects the attacks that are aimed at us. Satan is always hurling fiery darts of fear, doubt, and worry in our direction. But the only time they can hit us is when we let our shield of faith down. When we stop believing that God is in control, that he is working everything out for our good, that whatever happens is for the ultimate best of everyone involved, however little it seems to be that way. When faith in God's omnipotence and care is strong, it is impossible for Satan to break through our shield and land an attack. But when we allow doubt to creep in, as Peter did when distracted by the waves, we will start to sink. The rest of our armor will be battered, and so will we. But an actively raised shield of faith prevents this otherwise inhibiting fatigue. Now, I encourage you to take up the shield of faith each and every day. Do not allow the enemy to throw the darts of fear, of doubt into your lives. Put up that shield of faith and protect yourself from all darts that the enemy throws at you. I hope you can join us next week where we'll be looking at the helmet of salvation. Be sure to like our Facebook page and follow us on Instagram. You can find the links in the description below. Please remember to like and share this series and to follow us. Thanks for tuning in, and God bless.